Giants, or at least one.
Oh. There's the second one in the background.
And 3.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, and welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Cam, this is Zay, and we are here watching Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 1, Dragonstone. I'm super excited to get into this one, but before we do, if you guys like what you're watching, leave a like down below. It really does help with the algorithm. And if you want to watch our full-length reaction to this, now I would say 7 episodes at this point if you've been keeping track of how many more we've added per season. I'm only going to cap it at 6 though, because after this, there's only 6 more episodes to the end of Season 7, and there's only 6 episodes in Season 8. So if you want to watch our full-length reaction to this and the next 6 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. The link for that will be in the description. Zay, what do you remember previously?
One of the craziest finales I think that we've gotten. And, you know, it was just a nutty season for sure. Kind of going over what we had seen recently. I guess I could start in King's Landing. Cersei's sat upon the Iron Throne. Tommen killed himself. She blew up the Sept and took out the High Sparrow, Marjorie, Loras, Lancel, and I think Mace Tyrell was in there as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think.
Master,
and
well, not the
like Lord Tyrell.
Yeah, Lord Tyrell.
Yeah, I think his first name's Mace. That's why.
Oh, Mace. I thought you said Maester.
Yeah,
oh, no, Mace Tyrell. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they blew up the wildfire stash. It was nuts. Maester Pycelle also got taken out by Qyburn's little birds that he had within King's Landing. It was nutty. It was hectic. A very insane sequence. You know, she sits upon the Iron Throne. We saw an interesting interaction between Olenna, Varys, and Dorne. That was very interesting. I ended up seeing Varys on the ship with Dany heading towards Westeros, which she's headed towards Westeros.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's huge.
It's
that's
something
major.
I guess you could argue we've all been waiting for a very, very long time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely been waiting on it, been plotting on it. Jon is being hailed the King of the North.
Yeah, King of the North.
You know, he took Winterfell back. And speaking of Winterfell, we also saw an interesting interaction between Baelish, aka Littlefinger, and Sansa. Very awkward interaction with Baelish, you know, kind of saying like, I want you by my side, and her being like, like, I don't really like you. And, you know,
she's like, that's a pretty picture.
Yeah, it's a pretty picture to paint, but like, you know, she's not dumb. It seems that she's gaining wiser with age. One of my favorite scenes also, Arya takes out Walder Frey, that little creepy old man.
Yeah.
And cooked. So we might be wrong in this. I thought she cooked Walder's sons in the pie, but Cam said we couldn't remember if it was just men.
I don't know. I don't remember for sure if it was his sons, his men.
I thought it was his 2 sons or something like that. Could be wrong. I thought he said, "Where are my sons?" or something.
He could be right too. I just don't remember for sure. I just know it was his men, whether it's his sons or, you know, just his regular men.
He peeled back that crust and there's like a finger in it.
Yeah.
And then she peels off the mask and kills him. Marked a huge name off her list.
Confirms that we know she can change faces. Not there.
outside of how am I drawing
Bravos.
Bravos, yeah. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was in the finale. Sam arrived at the library with Gilly and their son at the Citadel or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was in the finale. I think it was. Okay. But I'm not sure. But yes, that did happen previously before this season.
And then
last season.
Last thing we'll go over before we can get in the episode. Benjen, we find out, can't go south of the wall because he's technically undead and there's a spell on it. So he wasn't able. He had to leave Bran.
Yeah.
You know, kind of sad. I was really happy getting to see them reunite. It was really cool seeing Benjen pop up again. But very sad to find out that he's got to stay north of the wall.
Yeah. That's a nice little recap. All right.
A lot.
Let's not make you guys wait any longer. Let's get into the episode.
I want you to get your throat cut. Why am I seeing you again living?
It's must be a like a prequel scene.
A toast. No more of that Gornish horse piss. This is the finest arbor gold. Proper wine for proper heroes.
Fuck all of you. You suck.
Literally. Would you poison them? You didn't even drink it, did he?
Not you. I'm not wasting good wine on a damn woman.
Jesus Christ.
The men who helped me slaughter the Starks at the Red Wedding slaughtered your guests after inviting them into your home. But you didn't slaughter every one of the Starks. No. That was your mistake. You should have ripped them all out, root and stem.
He did poison them.
It ain't a prequel scene.
Oh, Arya, you devilish girl.
You're never gonna know who you're watching, if Arya or not.
I got duped, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, dude. That gives me goosebumps. She just murdered them all.
Winter came for House Frey.
You know what threw me off? Because didn't Walder have a conversation with like two of his men about like taking?
Yeah, like, he was just upset that
it was
something. It was that they couldn't hold River Run, basically.
Okay, so I was like, is this some sort of like? Damn, that was savage,
bro.
Arya,
the Red Woman told her she'd shut many eyes forever.
Arya
Look
has
at
like
that.
50
Look
bodies.
at that.
She
Yeah,
has like 50 bodies on her now. That's crazy. So it's safe to say when you see this cloud, it ensures that they're there.
Well, winter is coming.
Oh, no shit, they're bringing it. I can see.
You got giants, or at least one.
Oh. There's the second one in the background.
And 3.
Oh my god. So dope.
You wildlings.
I'm Mira Reed, daughter of Howland Reed. This is Brandon Stark.
Why does it matter if they're
Son
wild?
of Ned Stark.
You've already started to accept them.
Yeah. First off, I would have said, fuck my name. This is Brandon Stark. He's
How do I
crippled.
know that's true? He said.
You were at the
He can't
Fist of the
walk.
First Men. You were at Hardhome. You've seen the Night King. He's coming for us. For all of us.
Hey, come on. Let's get them inside.
How do I know that's Brandon Stark? Your favorite food is sesame chicken. And one day you licked asphalt to see how it tastes. What the fuck?
You got denied by a girl in the 8th grade. You shit yourself when she said no. All right. I got it. You still pee the bed. Shut him up. Just... I never mentioned it too, but like it's crazy how that actor aged like so much, like throughout the show. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's like really noticeable. Rickon too. I noticed it.
But also a lot of time has passed.
We need to find it, we need to mine it, we need to make weapons from it.
Yeah.
Everyone, aged 10 to 60, will drill daily with spears, pikes, bow and arrow.
It's about time we taught these boys of summer how to fight.
Not just the boys. We can't defend the north if only half the population is fighting.
Good start, John.
Oh.
Child labor and women in the army. Like women in the wars.
I don't plan on knitting by the fire while men fight for me.
But it's justified.
And I might be a girl, but I am every bit as much a northerner as you.
Indeed you are,
She's
my
a
lady.
savage.
No one
And
is
I don't
questioning
need
it.
your permission to defend the north.
Sheesh!
Yeah.
Begin training every man, woman, boy, and girl on Bear Island.
What we're preparing...
Bro,
Dude, when a grown man goes, you fucking...
you got it. You got it.
And the wall hasn't been properly manned in centuries. I'm not the king of the free folk. But if we're going to survive this winter together...
That's a smart fucking move, John. Let them know you're not trying to be their king. Their wildlings are the wildlings.
Looks like we're the Night's Watch now.
All right, Torment. chill.
The first two castles in their path are Last Hearth and Carhold.
The Ambers and their Karstarks betrayed the North. Their castle should be torn down with not a stone left standing.
The castle's committed no crimes. And we need every fortress we have for the war to come. We should give the last hearth and carhold to new families, loyal families who supported us against Ramsay.
Sansa said, shut the fuck up and sit down.
I'm not going to strip these families of their ancestral homes because of the crimes of a few reckless sons.
So there's no punishment for treason and no reward for loyalty.
Sansa, not now.
This could be in private, asshole.
Yeah, right.
My father always said, the man who passes the sentence should swing the sword, and I have tried to live by those words.
Yeah.
But I will not punish a son for his father's sins. And I will not take a family home away from a family it has belonged to for centuries. That is my decision. And my decision is final.
Woo.
He had to. You gotta put your foot down. You can't,
Ned Umma.
Oh. The sun was literally there. It's kind of awkward. We should kill them. Like, no, please.
I ask you to pledge your loyalty once again to House Stark, to serve as our bannermen, and come to our aid whenever called upon.
She always looks mad. It's crazy.
Yesterday's wars don't matter anymore.
The North needs to band together. All the living North.
That background music.
Will you stand beside me, Ned and Alice, now and always?
Now and always.
That could have been booze.
Yeah, I know. Boo! Fuck these kids. It's just, yo, fuck them kids, bro.
Your father's a traitor.
Traitor.
You question my decisions in front of the other lords and ladies. You undermine me.
Yeah,
true.
Joffrey never let anyone question his authority. You think he was a good king?
Do you think I'm Joffrey?
Oh, how dare you? Don't ever compare my man to
As
Joffrey.
far from Joffrey as anyone I've ever met.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good.
You're good at this, you know.
At what?
At ruling. You have to be smarter than father. You need to be smarter than Rob.
Yeah.
And how should I be smarter? By listening to you.
What does she want?
Come to King's Landing, bend the knee, or suffer the fate of all traitors.
Cersei's message.
Winter is here. The Lannisters are a southern army. They've never ranged this far north.
You're the military man, but I know her. Everyone who's ever crossed her, she's found a way to murder.
You almost sound as if you admire her.
Oh. All right, guys, relax.
That was kind of crazy. A little out of pocket, John. Not gonna lie, a little bit out of pocket.
What is this?
It's what we've been waiting for our whole lives. It's what Father trained us for, whether he knew it or not.
He knew it. Maybe memorize every damn city, town, lake, forest, and mountain.
It's ours now, we just have to take it.
Yeah, that's right. He came back and saw Cersei on the throne.
Daenerys Targaryen has chosen Tyrion to be her hand. The one you love so much. The one you set free. The one who murdered our father and our firstborn son. Now he stands beside our enemies and gives them counsel.
That is true.
Except for he didn't murder Joffrey, you asshole.
Where will they land?
Dragonstone.
I understand whoever wins could launch a dynasty that lasts 1,000 years.
A dynasty for whom? Our children are dead.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna fucking say
A dynasty
that.
for us, then.
We never talked about Tommen.
Not for nothing. You guys could just make another child. I mean, you guys have already done it how many times at this point?
We're still flesh and blood.
Ay, ay, ay.
The last
Yo.
Lannisters, the last ones who count.
That's crazy. You're bugging.
Frey supported us. Now they're all dead. Whoever killed them is no friend of ours. We need to have...
You got that right.
Facts.
I think I listened to Father for 40 years and learned nothing.
No shit. The Kraken.
Oh, they got the ships.
I know the Ironborn. They're bitter, angry little people. All they know how to do is steal things they can't build or grow themselves.
Your own Greyjoy didn't come here for that.
What did he come here for, then?
A queen.
You just hear a fucking rock hard poop hit the bottom of his armor.
Yeah.
What?
He's
What
gonna assassinate Euron the second he fucking walks in here.
All our treasonous family members are fighting for the same side. I thought we rightful monarchs could murder them together.
Yeah, be careful. That's not one you want to fuck with.
No.
You don't care about the Iron Islands. They're nothing but rocks and bird shit and a lot of very unattractive people. The Iron Fleet, on the other hand, has something else entirely. It's the greatest armada Westeros has ever seen.
They are masters at the sea.
They are.
You can defeat the invaders in the east and the pretenders in the north and south. So here I am, with 1,000 ships and 2 good hands.
Oh.
I decline your proposal.
Oh.
Why?
You're not trustworthy. You've broken promises to allies before and murdered them at the nearest opportunity. You murdered your own brother.
You should try it. Feels wonderful.
Oh my god.
In my experience, the surest way to a woman's heart is with a gift. A priceless gift. I won't return to King's Landing until I have that for you.
What does he have in mind?
What could that be?
What could be a priceless gift for Cersei Lannister?
Sansa's head. Would definitely be one.
The lens. What a beautiful shot.
It's really cool. I would never be a librarian here. Oh my god.
I just had a brown coffee. Oh, poor Sam. Man, I wish I was at the wall right now. That's probably what he's thinking. Sam.
Now be wise. Open it up.
Okay, you said be wise and then said the opposite of wisdom.
No. I'm giving him a wise way to get over the over this.
You're five-heading this
wall.
shit. Hey, why'd you pull that book out and put it back?
Yeah, yo, facts. Yeah.
What is he? 5'8", 5'9", 150 pounds? You got that, Sam.
2,000 years old. You can kick his ass.
I was wondering if you'd considered my proposition. If I could have access to the restricted area of the library.
Not a very strong proposition, is it?
All right. Well, what was that?
An organ.
No shit. I didn't think it was a pickle. What the fuck?
The simplest explanation for your grating obsession with the White Walkers is that you're telling the truth, and that you saw what you say you saw.
Exactly, my bro.
You believe me?
He's gonna say no.
I do.
Oh, he does. Okay. Ooh.
We are this world's memory, Samwell Tarly. Without us, men would be little better than dogs.
Oh.
Don't remember any meal but the last. Can't see forward to any but the next.
That's a fair argument.
Well, is it? Like...
Hey, books are important. Shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying that's a bold statement.
When Aegon Targaryen turned his eye westward and flew his dragons to Blackwater Rush, the end is near. How will we survive? And thousands of years before that, during the long night, we can forgive them for thinking it truly was the end, but it wasn't. None of it was. The Wall has stood through it all. And every winter that ever came has ended.
Dude, that's like your parents like, oh yeah, I believe you. There's a monster in your closet, but he's not going to come out, so you're fine.
Yeah, he'll stay in. Now, finish weighing that heart. And go the fuck to bed. Oh, you're a goon for that. I'm so anxious right now. I hope he does this quick and clean.
Hey, Sam, you better book
it out of there.
He rode through the streets of the city, down from his hill on all the winds and the steps.
Now, you might not know this, but
Ed Sheeran.
Spoiler alert. That's Arya with Arya's face. No.
Oh shit. Nah, bro. Yo, rips the face off. It's the horse on Arya. Horse's face. It's Arya. Man, sounds like it is Ed Sheeran. I knew it from the voice. I was like, that's Ed. I was like, is that Ed Sheeran?
Yep.
Hands of gold are always cold, but a woman's hands are.
Don't kill Ed Sheeran.
Are you hungry? We've got some rabbit.
I don't want to steal your food.
You're not stealing, we're offering. Come on, it's going to be a cold night.
I've ever seen. I've never seen a squad of guys so kind.
Well, Ed Sheeran's in the squad.
Yeah, I guess, but like typically they're dickheads. At least one of them. They're all like, "No, please have some rabbit."
What are you doing in the Riverlands?
There's been some trouble with the Freys up at the Twins, so we're part of the army that's been sent to keep the peace.
Guess first.
Oh no, I couldn't. You don't have enough.
But my mother always told me to be kind to strangers. Strangers to be kind to you.
Well,
these are the kindest fucking guys I've ever seen in the show. They're so nice.
I'm going to kill the queen.
That quietness was heavy. Holy shit.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure those are Lannister men.
Yeah, they get
Because
a raven.
They said
get a
that
raven 2 weeks later. The queen's been killed. They're like, oh, she wasn't fucking kidding. Like,
because they said they were sent to the twins to keep the peace when the Freys and the Lannister were together, and the Freys just died off. So I'm pretty sure that was the implication, that they were Lannister men. And the colors.
That's why, yeah. So the colors is what stood out to me too, with like the red and the.
This seems like a good place to spend the night.
I don't like that you guys are in this winter shit.
These people don't want us here.
Oh my god. He said they'd be dead by winter, didn't he? In the cut. He said they'd be dead by winter. Let's see.
Damn.
I'd say they were starving. And rather than let his little girl suffer, he ended it for both of them.
Doesn't matter now.
No. Doesn't matter now.
Wow. It's crazy.
There's nothing special about you.
Well, right about that.
So why does the Lord of Light keep bringing you back?
You think I don't ask myself that? Every hour of every day. Why am I here?
Yeah, dude. Imagine you kept getting brought back. I'd be like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, what is
literally?
If he's so all-powerful, why doesn't he just tell you what the fuck he wants?
Come over here.
He's asking good questions.
Don't worry, the fire won't bite.
Bro, he's traumatized by fire.
It's my fucking luck I end up with a band of fire worshippers.
What do you see?
Ice.
Oh shit.
It's where the wall meets the sea.
Eastwatch.
There's a castle there.
That's not good.
There's a mountain. Looks like an arrowhead. The dead are marching past. Thousands of them.
Really? I saw a bunny.
Yeah, someone else was like,
what the hell are you doing, Clegane?
Burying the dead.
You can see clearly he's, whether that's guilt or just like like sadness
Some,
for them.
yeah, some emotion for them.
He's clearly out there digging a grave.
We asked the mother to... Fuck it, I don't remember the rest. I'm sorry you're dead. You deserve better.
That might be like
both of you.
the softest we've ever seen of the Hound.
Yeah.
But like that's like
it got his point across.
I'm sorry you're dead. It says a lot. Like
yeah. Also like the rawness of it. Instead of him having to do this like big like poemish like we asked this for this for that. He's just like I'm sorry that you know you had like you deserved better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like brute, just like how he is too. So it's like I liked it.
Do you recognize that?
The dagger?
Yeah.
Like I do and I don't. Like I do recognize it
all the way back to I think season 1 where Tyrion gets framed for the attempted murder.
Yeah,
The Targaryens built their first stronghold there when they invaded Westeros.
That's dragon glass.
A mountain of it.
Oh shit.
Beneath the ground. Stannis told me, but I didn't think... This is important. Jon needs to know.
Mountain of dragon glass.
That's
huge. Dragonstone.
Has she come yet?
Who?
The Dragon Queen.
You know, that sounds like...
It's Jorah.
Haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Look at him.
Holy arm. Dog, you were supposed to find an antidote. What are you doing locked in a set? Well, maybe...
Well, he went to the Citadel.
Yeah, maybe then he thinks the Maesters can figure it out. I guess it's actually...
Yeah, it'd be a good place to go.
Honestly, yeah, I take that back, George. Smart.
It's like they are going to Dragonstone.
Ah, shit. I like the outfits that the women are wearing now. It's like she's in all black, Cersei's in all black. Like it's like wartime. She's usually like a robe. Look at him. Scout it out for us, boys.
Ho, 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 ho.
Land on it. Claim it for your own.
Damn, I'm getting goosebumps again. Gosh, I gotta fucking... my biology this show knows how to trigger me.
God, when's the last time she's been here?
She was a baby.
Home. Yeah.
Look at that. She has now touched the surface of Westeros.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. She's at Westeros and at her home for like the first time. Like,
Look at that.
That's so cool.
Pretty fitting castle.
Yeah.
Oh. Look at that shot. How what a castle to defend, right? Like how are you going to get that's like top-notch defense.
How do you storm that? Like
yeah, exactly. There's the Stannis' flag.
Yeah. Tear that shit down. Terrible. Exactly. Disgusting.
Look at that fucking throne. Literally no dialogue this whole time.
Yeah, it's nuts. Speaking volumes without it too.
Yeah, showing how significant this is for Dany and for us too, for being able to get to see this. Remember this room?
Yes, I do.
Got the dragons carved. That's the map that I was telling you about, the table map that we've seen multiple times.
Yeah. Not an ounce of dialogue still.
Shall we begin?
That's how it ends. That was savage. That was crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude. Just all that silence and then finally just a shall we begin? Fucking goosebumps again. My gosh. All right, everybody. That was Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 1, Dragonstone. Again, if you liked what you were watching, leave a like down below. Subscribe to stay tuned for more. And if you want to watch our full-length reaction to this, the next 6 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. Again, that was our reaction to Season 7, Episode 1, Dragonstone. With that being said, Zay, what are your initial thoughts?
That had my favorite recap. Probably one of my favorite intros I've seen this season. It was nuts. Yeah, it was a crazy episode. Definitely an insane way to start the season. Definitely has me excited to see how they how it all plays out. There's a lot going on already.
Yeah.
So
yeah, super exciting. All right, you ready for the Q&A?
Absolutely.
Shall we begin?
Yes.
Okay, so first up, we had Arya. She was pretending to be Walder Frey, and she killed probably, 50, looked like, maybe around 50 men. And hey, looked like justice to me. And we also got to see her heading to King's Landing, stopped by Ed Sheeran and the bunch, and basically told them she's going to kill the queen. So what are your thoughts about, Arya this episode, what she did and where she's headed? And do you think that she's going to be successful in her goal or not?
Man, yeah, it definitely seems like Arya is hell-bent on getting her list done and, just pretty much using her new abilities to at the greatest extent that she can to get vengeance on, who she sees fit. Do I think she's going to succeed? It's like such an it's so OP to be able to change her face and to do stuff like that. But I'm just nervous that she's going to get caught. Like, she seems pretty careful, but to get caught lacking, like, isn't that hard. I mean, she's still young, so even though she has this power, it's like, she's not like a complete like master. Like someone like Jaqen's, like he wouldn't get caught. Like if it was Jaqen Hagar doing this to me, I'd be like, yeah, he'll succeed, because he's someone that like he just is able to move so swiftly and everything. Maybe she is that advanced, but I just think the experience isn't there for me to say clear cut. Yes, she's gonna totally get it done. I think she has a high possibility, high chance. It's nuts that was her next thing's like, I'm going right to King's Landing. She doesn't even want to she's like, I don't give a shit if my other family is alive or whatever the case is, or meeting up with them. She's like, I need to get this done, which single-handedly is also assisting, Jon and, people like Daenerys without them knowing it. They don't know Arya can do this. Like knowing. So it's pretty nuts. It's wild, and I'll get into like the Cersei aspect of it too. Once we get to that part, because she's kind of in a very bad position, very bad.
Well, she kind of has something now, but we'll talk about that. She kind of does, kind of doesn't. Next on the list, we've got Bran. He arrives at the wall, and they let him in. Not really much else going on there. What do you think he's gonna do now that he's on our side of the wall, you could say?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Are there, because it's gonna sound like a dumb question, are there werewood trees anywhere south of the, because he can't do like what he was doing.
So there's one in Winterfell.
There's a couple. Okay, I just want to make sure. So,
and also remember way back the I'm not sure if this is north of the wall. I don't think it is, but the werewood tree that Sam and Jon, remember they had to make their vows in front of the werewood tree?
I think it was north. I think they left. I think they went north of the wall to the tree, and then they came back.
I'm not positive, but it's somewhere around the wall.
Okay. He's definitely in a safer position to kind of utilize that ability, because when you use that ability, he's incapacitated further than he is right now, which is can't walk. So, to be able to be south of the wall and be able, now it's like, oh, you might be able to get somewhere where you can use that ability safely, hidden. The thing that's scary is like, he needs to relay the information to the, I know they all know that the Night King and the White Walkers and the Army of the Undead are coming, but like, you need to relay that information that he's like coming for you. Like the three-eyed raven said, he asked him, he's like, did he touch you? And when he said yes, he's like, he's going to be hunting you. So that could make it deviate from where, like, I wonder if that will play a role in like where the Night King strikes. Does the Night King, like, if he stays at the, you know, Castle Black, will that make the Night King deviate his attack plan because he wants to get to Bran? Like, you know what, if you get what I'm saying, like, because they're expecting him to go to where the easternmost, I think is what it was, where the water meets it.
Eastwatch, yeah.
But this could deviate it if it's like, well, if he's really tracking Bran, like it seems like the Raven was alluding to, you might have that battle at Knights or at Castle Black a lot sooner.
Let me ask you this, because it could be yes, it could be no. When the Night King touched Bran, it clearly removed the magical barrier that was preventing the White Walkers from getting into the Third Eye Raven's base. Do you think that will apply now that Bran is past the wall? Do you think that barrier has been taken down, or do you think that it hasn't and it's strong enough to resist them still? What are your thoughts about that situation?
I don't know if it completely removed it. It at least weakened it, in my opinion. But I think it might have removed it. Yeah, I mean, that completely, as soon as he touched him, yeah, that completely, the only thing I could say the only argument I could see is, okay, well, he got touched while he was behind that barrier specifically.
Right, so maybe
not necessarily he wasn't
again.
behind the wall. But yeah, that still gives me anxiety if he's warging and what if he gets touched again?
Right.
It's going to become a thing though, where it's, now that's a piece of information where it's like, yo, if you get touched, like you need to let them know if like you're warging and you end up getting touched by a Night King again somehow, because you need to let them know that, hey, they can cross. Like this wall doesn't mean shit, because they could just send people up the wall. They could send their undead, like try to like a fucking DayZ style, just mountain climbing. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. I don't know. I don't know if it removed. I think it might have, but I can't say for certain because he was in that specific area at the time. So
right,
we'll see. I guess.
Yeah. Next on the list, we've got Jon and Sansa. Jon's kind of getting more in his position as king in the North. He's making decisions, and we did see Sansa kind of in front of his men questioning these decisions, talking back at him kind of, and then we saw this conversation with them on the side, like, hey, you can't do that. Oh, are you sound a little bit like Joffrey? And then Jon's like, well, hey, do you admire Cersei? So there's an interesting thing going on there, but they both, I think, are very well aware that each other are not those people. But it's interesting that these comparisons are being brought up. Do you think that there is going to be a further rift dividing these two, or do you think that these two actually are just going to have a little bump in the road and ultimately come together at the end? What are your thoughts about that whole situation?
I hope there's not a rift, but you know, this is what Baelish was kind of trying to get to happen, and we saw him smile several times while he was inside the hall as that was occurring. As Sansa chirps him, he chirps back, and you know, to give some, you know, they had fair points, right? It's like she's bringing up fair points, you know, about like, well, we need to be conscious of this and this and this. Jon also has a fair point where it's like, well, you can't do that when I'm in front of these guys. And, you know, it's a tough situation he's in, because it's like, all right, well, even if you go back to your chambers and you have this conversation with Sansa and say she does convince you and you rethink it, it's like, well, now people are like, well, now you're going back on your wait. So now you're switching the plan. Like, you know, you don't want to seem
in charge here.
You want to seem decisive and committed to like what we're doing with minimal. Yeah. And yeah, those comparisons, you know, as much as they kind of laughed at each other at the end of it, it was like, yeah, those are kind of shots. Those were shots at each other. You sound like Joffrey. But then he said, well, do I seem like Joffrey? No, you're the farthest thing from him. You sound like you admire Cersei. She's like, well, I learned a lot from her. It's like, it's like, yeah, you could say it's just banter and like kind of like, but it's like in a situation like this, high stress, high tension, that type of stuff can snowball and definitely create a rift. So we could see one for sure develop.
Right.
I just hope it doesn't, you know, I hope they don't let it consume them in their decision making, and, you know, because that will cause a bunch of implications with now your north and south enemies that are, you have a threat in the north and got a letter from the south threatening you. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty wild one to see, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out. Next on the list, we've got Cersei. and Jaime, and they're kind of talking about, hey, listen, we've got enemies from the north, south, east, and west. Like, what are we supposed to, do about this? Like this doesn't look good. And Cersei's like, yeah, well, I'm the queen of the Seven Kingdoms. And Jaime's like, nah, maybe three
at best.
Maybe three at best. And it looks like Westeros is kind of surrounding Cersei. So she did manage to get the Iron Fleet to come to her from the Iron Islands, Euron and those crew, but she didn't really accept Euron's offer. So Euron said, I'm going to go get you something that basically, you can't turn down, or something that you would really want to, or you would want to align with us after you see this gift I get you, basically, something like that. So what are your thoughts about that whole situation? What do you think he's going to get? And also, whatever it is, do you think that will be what seals the deal between these two? What are your thoughts about that whole situation and Cersei's position in Westeros with all the other kingdoms as well?
So I think she's kind of trying to maybe five-head it and kind of, denying his proposal, right, is going to shock him, because he's thinking at this time, like, I got this in the bag. I got 1,000 ships. I got this, whatever. I just have to basically kind of swoon her right here. And her denying it. And this is why I say it's kind of a five-head play, because it might play off, he mentioned the fact that my niece and nephew went to Daenerys. They brought they brought my best ships immediately to Daenerys. I would imagine that might be where he tries to strike, is Daenerys. Imagine he brings the head of Daenerys back to Cersei. And here's the thing. That is Cersei having another military do her dirty work, and she doesn't have to risk a single one of her men. She's like, I just took out arguably the biggest threat. Now I just have to deal with possibly with Olenna and Dorne. I'd say, compared to comparing those two military forces, I would say, Daenerys, and everyone is a way bigger threat to me. So maybe that's what she's doing. She's five-head playing it, trying to have him take out her biggest enemy, or at least weaken her enemy to the point where she can kind of swoop in and just be like, well, let's just clean it up. We'll get it handled, and then we can kind of restore it. That's the biggest threat to the throne right now. But, I said in the beginning of the Q&A, like, she's not in a great position. It's because, she's surrounded, north, south, east, west, and has a freaking face shifter coming into King's Landing. Right. So it's like, you're not just surrounded, you have someone soon to be possibly infiltrated. Not there yet, but could possibly be. So your enemies are everywhere. Like, it's not just, what I'm saying, a far more dangerous situation, but still she's still, to me, when Jaime kind of said, like, I don't think how dangerous the situation is that we're in, or how much danger we're in. And I kind of agreed with him at a point, because I was like, yeah, it seems like she's still holding that Lannister pride, to where, like, almost like her pride is clouding her judgment. Like,
I think that's absolutely fair to say. I mean, she said we can have a legacy, and Jaime's like, our children are dead.
We don't even have our children.
Still is like,
we got it. It's just us. It's like, you got to understand, that will play into you being a leader. People don't like you. Like, Cersei, here's the cold water. People don't like you. So you really are at a disadvantage of having to beat all these people, convince the people that you're ruling not to kill you, basically, and, to support your claim. Man, she's in a bad situation. But I imagine Euron's maybe heading towards Dragonstone, or plotting something to maybe take them. The only other person, I'm trying to think of who else he could snag. What other kind of I couldn't really think of any other, like, prize that would be more like, that's something that if he came back with the head of Daenerys, how could she say no?
Well, there's only one way to find out. So we'll have to see. Next up on the list, we've got Sam. So, when we last saw Sam, we kind of thought, oh, he's here. He's going to be a maester now, all this great stuff. But it turns out he's kind of at the bottom of the barrel here. He's scraping poop, serving stew, and basically rinse and repeat all day. But he was eyeing that book, and but behind the gate, and eventually he was able to get behind the gate. That book or books, just he was eyeing behind the gate.
He looked like he was just searching for any books that were in regards to the long night. And
that might be important. And he basically came across this one cell that had Jorah in it, and Jorah's not looking good.
Here's that goddamn gray. I was like, holy shit, whose arm is that?
The grayscale has progressed a lot at this point, so not sure how things are going to turn out for him. We also heard that Sam basically found out that there's mountains of dragon glass beneath Dragonstone, which is huge, because you need that to help defend against the.
And he said the Targaryens were decorating their weapons without even noticing what it was for. They just were putting it on their weapons.
Right.
And
so
yeah.
So what are your thoughts about this information he's coming across? Do you think he's going to come across any more information, or do you think that this might be enough to help them at the wall? And also, what's in store for Jorah?
Yeah, I think, well, I'm going to work backwards from it. I think Jorah made the right move, just because we haven't seen him in a little bit. We haven't really gotten talked about him in a little bit. I think Jorah made the right move. I guess going to the Citadel was like, this is the most expansive base of knowledge that you could have. These are going to have, if anyone can help you, it's probably going to be at the Citadel. Smart for them to kind of put him in a cell, so that way he's cut off. Like, if it progresses too far, all they have to basically do is just take him out. So
sure.
But dude, what a painstaking and like what a long wait type of thing you have to do. Because I imagine he came. We don't really know how it went down, but I imagine he came and basically stated that he had grayscale. And I would like to assume that they have some maesters working on trying to discover some sort of cure or something along those lines for assisting him. Maybe not. They might have just been like, oh, you have grayscale, and threw him in a cell. we're like, fuck this guy. Like, we don't even know you. But yeah, I mean, I hope that's the case and that they're working towards getting him cured. Sam only had those books for such a short period of time and found such an extensive knowledge on, important knowledge, dragon glass being buried under Dragonstone, that the fact that the Targaryens were just decorating it, not realizing obviously how strong it was, but it makes sense that the Valyrian steel swords are the ones that are able to, if they're being decorated with this stuff, it's like, okay.
Well, the Valyrian steel swords,
Valyrian, not from,
Valyrian steel swords, I don't think so. Valyrian steel swords aren't like decorated in dragon glass.
Didn't the Targaryens use Valyrian steel or something like that? Valyrian steel.
I'm sure they did, but it's not. It's not like the Valyrian maybe it's the
steel
specific.
Sword. Maybe it's like the house, like the more.
Basically,
more
what I'm trying to tell you
steel
is
swords.
Jon's Valyrian steel sword, Longclaw. It can kill a White Walker, but that has nothing to do. It's not decorated in dragon glass. So it's not
so
like
it has no dragon glass on it at all.
It's not decorated in it. I'm not specifically sure if it involves dragon glass like in the smithing process, but as opposed to like it, I don't.
Well, I guess you couldn't even
wrong,
confirm,
but
you couldn't even really confirm it for me, even if that was the case, technically, because it hasn't been.
Right. All I can tell you is that it's not. We've seen Longclaw. There's not. Dragon glass all around it, decorating it and whatnot. We just know that Valyrian steel along with dragon
I don't
glass.
even know when. I mean, decorated. I guess decorated could be. Maybe it's even just made with it. However, maybe certain swords have more of it on it, like decorated. Like he didn't really go too deep. He basically said that they decorated it without. We haven't really. I guess I really haven't seen a sword that is decorated per se, where it's like, oh, that's dragon. That's so dragon glass. We've only seen the shit they found buried up on the mountain a few seasons back now, right? Like 2 seasons back.
Right.
But he's finding a lot of information, important information. The only problem is that, like, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Dragonstone like way south and the north is like way north?
Dragonstone is actually, it's close to King's Landing. And King's Landing is more south, than Winterfell and things like that.
I mean, he said thousands of miles. King's Landing's he's like, their armies are thousands of miles from us. We have 1,000 miles separating us from. Point being, even if you get that information, you still got a hell of a fucking distance to try to get that weaponry up to this area where you need it. So the knowledge helps, but I wonder if Sam, like, what is Sam's game plan going to be to get all this knowledge? And it's like, you still need, like, you can't just go to, like, there's no way you could ever just bring that to King's Landing and be like, the White Walkers are coming. Like, they might not buy it. Like, I know even some people do, some people don't. It's spotty. So it's like,
well, I know he wants to write to Jon. That
right.
was what he said.
And point being, like, trying to get Westeros like grouped around the idea, like, yo, no, we have a battle at the north that we need to handle. Like, we need to get this material here is going to be difficult.
Well, like he said, a lot of people at the Citadel don't even believe
it. Yeah,
right.
So,
exactly.
And it makes me wonder too, like, well, why do you lock these books away? Because, like, these are important books, I feel like, in knowledge that they should have.
Like, well, all it is that they decorated their weapons in dragon glass. I mean, if you don't know what that is significant for, it's not really.
And there's a mountain of it underneath Dragonstone, but also.
And about that, I was going to ask you, yes or no? Do you think it's even still there?
Oh, because I had been thinking about that. Like, what if it's not there anymore? What if it's gone? I don't know. I don't think it will be. I think if there's any left, I don't think it will nearly be the supply that they think or that it used to be. I think that maybe some of it has been used and, been whatever taken and all this. I guess we'll find out. I mean, yeah, that's a huge area of that's a huge, curveball 50-50. Yeah, you might not even have dragon glass underneath there. So even if you got, people to go to Dragonstone, and that's the other, like, Cersei's Daenerys is at Dragonstone now. So it's like, how are you you got to convince her to let you even go and dig for the dragon glass. Right. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? White Walkers and these undead. What do you mean? What is this? And, so now it's like, yeah, that mission is ridiculous. You can write to Jon, but Jon's not king of King's Landing. He doesn't have control of all the nations. So now it's like, okay, well, now
and even the one who is Queen of King's Landing doesn't have control of all the nations at this point.
So now you got to try to convince the person that might be sitting on the weaponry that you need, and then God forbid it's not there. So then she thinks that you were lying to do some bullshit. Yeah, bro. Yeah, it could get hectic quick.
Yeah, it could get pretty tricky. Next on the list, we have the Hound. He's still with the Brotherhood without banners. And, he came across the house of the people that he robbed. We got to see a softer side of the Hound, digging the grave for them and whatnot. But I think the most significant thing that came out of that whole situation was his vision in the fire. I mean, he saw Eastwatch by the sea. He saw a mountain that looks like an arrowhead. And I'm pretty sure he said he saw the army of the dead. And that it was like walking up.
He said walking through the wall or walking past. Yeah.
Walking past. I think he was talking about the mountain with the arrowhead that he saw the army of dead walking past.
Yeah.
I mean, that's then when he mentioned the Eastwatch by the sea, the fire kind of exploded. I don't know if that was coincidence or not. What do you think is the significance of that vision? Why do you think that was shown to him specifically, or do you think that it would have been shown to anybody who looked into the fire at that time? What are your thoughts about that whole situation and what that might mean for the Hound and for everybody else going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know if I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like with the Lord of Light stuff, when they show visions or when he shows visions to these people, that they're kind of specific to that person. It doesn't seem like, it's very rare that you hear, like, I don't know if we have it all, hear like multiple visions of the same thing. Even if they were around the same idea, they're not identical. Like, and here's the other thing too, is that we don't know. I guess you can't even really speak on it because we don't know what the other guy saw. He just said, look into the fire. What do you see? It's kind of wild that, he basically just had the Hound look into it and the Hound got these visions, which is like insane to me. Definitely would be a method for getting people to kind of start to believe in the Lord of Light for sure. If I looked into that and I started seeing,
I mean, we've seen a lot of Lord of Light stuff do some funky stuff. So I mean, at this point, a vision in the fire isn't the most surprising for us.
And it was,
for like
it was
the Hound,
almost,
he did.
It was almost wild that, you know, he was kind of talking kind of shit about the Lord of Light and like, you know, Derek, he was like Barrick, saying like, you know, you're not special, like what the, but they were discussing the Lord of Light. So then the guy's like, come here, all right, look in the fire. And now he sees, you know, now he sees these visions, which is probably in his mind, he's like, wait, this thing exists. Like, what the
he did see Barrick come back to life after he killed Barrick.
Right.
So, but it's still
felt like he was more of a doubter, like he like not totally like not like a non-believer, but more of just like a, you know, it just felt like the Lord of Light at this point. It's like, oh, okay, like you listen, you think it's just a game? He's like, I can show you some. Well, I mean, that vision's massive. That's huge information. Okay, bro, there was a ton of information, and you know, we've seen listen. The Red Woman looked into the flames and she sacrificed 3 freaking leeches, and usurpers and all that got smoked.
Like, everyone in the leeches. Usurper Joffrey, dead. Usurper Robb, dead. Usurper Balon, dead.
So it's like, you know, I don't doubt that the Lord of Light is able to do some funky shit, and you know, maybe has a hand to play in this and can predict things. The question is now is like,
you know, I saw the Bolton banner hoods go down at Winterfell, and you know, at first you think it's Stannis, but it was Jon who did that. So these visions hold merit, at least.
The question is just, how do you utilize that information? You know, what do you do with that information? You knowing that, seeing the army undead and everything, how does he utilize it? Does he, you know, do they decide to, you know, send a raven to Castle Black and to the Men of the Night Watch? Like, I mean, you know, they're already kind of predicting that that's where he was going to strike first, the Night King and the Army of the Dead. I mean, if anything, if you can't take them at face value, like if you can't take it verbatim from what the visions that you're seeing, you should at least be keeping that information in your head and kind of planning accordingly for like, okay, well, what if, and like, how could this go down? Strategizing around it, which has benefits if you have someone that is a Lord of Light follower that can see the flames and look into the flames. So kind of makes me nervous that, you know, they got rid of the Red Woman.
The Hound wasn't a follower, and he could see in the flames too. So
yeah,
and we know Thoros is, you know, kind of like the Red Woman in the sense that he is some kind of mouth for the Lord of Light. I mean, he's the one who raises Barrick. He's the one who had the vision shown to the Hound. But it's also like he's explained himself. I'm not doing this. I just say the words. And the Lord of Light does all this, but we'll have to see how all that plays out. Last thing on the list, we have Dany has arrived to Westeros. She stepped foot on Dragonstone, her home where she was when she was a baby. And she, you know, goes up into the castle. Great shot. It was all silence the whole way through. Yeah. And right when she gets to the map of Westeros, she says, "Shall we begin?" So what do you think, you know, she's planning at this point? And how do you think the future of her stay in Westeros is going to be?
Yeah, I think now it's just, now it's like the perfect time for them to plot. Like, where do we strike first? How are we going to strike? You know, who could be their allies? What allies do we have? If they have, you know, like I said, we saw Varys talking to Olenna and, you know, the women of Dorne. You know, if you have how are we going to coordinate with them to arrange an attack? You know, do you know, what land should we take first? How should we move? I'm sure there'll be a lot of military and strategy going on right there in that sense. I think that her stay in Westeros is going to be an eventful one. I think that there will be, I'm sure, a lot that goes down in the future. Like I said, I think Euron's heading towards them in Dragonstone. And, you know, we were talking about it. You're like, how do you seize that castle? You know, that castle's like, it's up there. And it's like, hey, man, listen, not for nothing. 1,000 ships could do some damage to that castle. Sure, like, you know, so, and they could surround it. It's basically, it's on the coast. So it for sure could cause a problem for them. You know, I'm sure I think it'll be an eventful and possibly bloody stay for Dany. But I'm excited to see where she possibly strikes first, or if she gets struck first, and see those sweet, sweet dragons do some work.
Well, we'll have to see. With that being said, again, if you guys liked what you were watching, leave a like down below, subscribe, and if you want to watch our full-length reaction to this in the next 6 episodes, you can check that out on Patreon. The link for that is in the description. Thank you guys for being here. Zay, I know you have a Twitch.
Yes, I do, guys. Come tune into the Twitch. Come say hi. It'll be linked down in the description below. Cam and I play some games Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm usually streaming like Sunday through Friday. My schedule should be up on my channel anyway, so if you're looking for specific times, it'll be up on there. But yeah, come say hi. No spoilers. I'm excited, to get into more games with Cam and everything. So yeah, and Cam, I know you have a Twitch as well.
Yep, just your average Cam. Links in the description. And there's also a donation link if you guys want to check that out. We've had some people come to our Patreon and leave just because they wanted to donate a specific amount of money. We thought that this link might make it easier for those kinds of people. You're not obligated to. You can submit a question and we'll read it live on a video. Or not live, but we'll read it on a video. Maybe live, maybe not. But again, you guys don't have to. We're not asking for you guys to do it. We just thought it would make it easier for people who people who were doing it by coming to our Patreon and leaving to donate. And, that's just what they said they were doing it for. So again, we left this link down in the description for people like that. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being donators, for being subscribers, for being Patreons. It means so much to have you guys here. We're excited for the rest of the season to go on this journey and finish this penultimate season. It's getting exciting. We'll see you guys on the next one, and
peace.